On this episode of the Turnbuckle, Maximum Male Models try to recruit Otis on Raw. WWE's motion to dismiss MLW's lawsuit has been granted, and an amendment or appeal is possible. And Brian Alvarez and Dave Meltzer says Sami Zayn has to win at Elimination Chamber. Folks, we're doing your favorite wrestling move and some wrestling news because it's time. On the February 13th episode of Raw in Brooklyn, New York, Maximum Male Models tried to recruit Otis to their faction, with Maxine Dupree making it clear she's an admirer of Otis's unconventional body. The segment began with Gable lecturing Otis on the harmful effects of eating a hot dog, pointing to the nitrates and toxins in the popular snack. Gable then threw away the hot dog, which struck Mansoor in the face just as the Maximum Male Models walked around in the backstage area. Even as an irate Mansoor sounded off on Gable ruining his face with mustard, Dupree interrupted and attempted to recruit Otis. "We're looking for the face and physique for our new campaign," Dupree informed Otis. "Have you ever considered doing any modeling?" At this point, Gable chimed in and spoke about his own modeling experiences, only to be cut off by Dupree. "Actually, I was talking to Otis," Maxine responded, as she pronounced Otis's name as Otis. The segment ended with Otis staring down the Maximum Male Models card. Dupree has been scouting Otis as a potential member for several weeks, with a backstage segment on February 6th also hinting at Maximum Male Models getting a new member. On that night, Otis accidentally threw his sweaty towel in the face of Mansoor, but Dupree had her eyes locked on Otis, referring to the possible recruitment as perfect for the future of her modeling agency. I love the slow babyface turn for Otis. I love him. Every time he does the caterpillar, I pop. It is amazing. I love that they're doing this. To me personally, I'm just very excited to see where that would go. So I feel like that's where they're going to go. I don't know what they're going to do with Chad. I don't know if Chad's gonna turn heel on him, or Otis is just gonna, because from what it looks like they can just like a claw machine and just it can just get him out of there. But it seems like maybe Chad is the way they're doing it. It looks like Chad is gonna be like, "Oh, it was me," or he's gonna be like, "Oh, Otis isn't," you know what I mean? He's gonna be like, "Oh, get out of here," and then Otis is gonna be like, "Hey, you get out of here," and that's how that's gonna start. And maybe it's not even gonna be recruiting yet. Maybe they're gonna have the feud first, but then I don't know. We'll have to wait and see what happens. Next, we're going to talk about how WWE's motion to dismiss MLW's lawsuit has been granted, and an amendment or appeal is possible. The Northern District of California's U.S. District Court has granted WWE's request to dismiss an antitrust lawsuit MLW filed against them in January 2022. However, the court finds that additional allegations may cure the deficiencies outlined above and in WWE's motion, and thus, MLW has 21 days to submit an amendment complaint or appeal. In a statement to PW Insider, MLW owner Court Bowers said, quote, "Our legal team is already at work on amending the complaint. We have every intention to continue pursuing our case against WWE." Among their reasoning for the initial dismissal, the court finds that MLW has not included sufficient facts to plausibly allege a relevant antitrust product market, and that their, quote, "allegations are insufficient to plausibly allege a relevant product market." In other parts of their reasoning, the court stated that MLW simply didn't provide sufficient evidence and facts backing up their allegations. MLW had filed an antitrust lawsuit against WWE that claimed WWE pressured third parties like Tubi and Vice to abandon contracts and prospective relationships with them. In their statement, it read that some of the harms MLW, quote, has alleged, example, loss of contract revenues due to WWE's interference, are specific to MLW rather than to competition at large. MLW includes a single allegation that consumers would have increased access to higher quality professional wrestling entertainment content at lower prices but for WWE's conduct, but it appends no additional facts to support this conclusion, the statement read, citing another case. With Monday's dismissal, WWE's previous protective order request from earlier this week was denied as a moot point. WWE had filed a request to dismiss shortly after the suit was filed, but in December, it was determined the case would move forward. So this is a very, very interesting journey that we're going on right now. I like that MLW is MLW is like, "Hey, WWE, in a stealth game when you get caught, like in Hitman or something, when you get caught and instead of it being a failed mission, they just start coming after you. That's what's happening." And WWE's trying to get away, and MLW is like, "No, where are you going?" So that's the the quickest way that I can pretty much sum it up, but that's not even scratching the surface of what actually is happening. They're really fighting this. They are not like, they're not just, WWE didn't just like smack it away and MLW was like, all right, and then just walked away. No, MLW like turned back around and was like, no, we're going back. I don't know what you're talking about. So like, they're really trying to like do something about this. I remember when Andrew Tate was like, pretty much doing the same thing, but that was when Vince was in charge. And I don't know if I talked about this, but now that Vince isn't in charge, Andrew Tate doesn't have to do anything because they're not being like mistreated anymore, you know? So I feel like that was let go, and I feel like this is like, you know, an echo of that in a way. Like MLW is not giving up on this, so I'm very interested to see how like you can see WWE's trying to like stop, get away from me, you know. Going off of the article, WWE, I did say that this is not the first time WWE has been doing stuff like this. They do it with like you know, the wrestlers and stuff like that. So listen, it's about time somebody calls them out on it. So if anyone's gonna do it, and if they're gonna do it in the way MLW is doing it, gotta be MLW. So we're gonna have to see how this turns out, man. I don't know about you, man, but I'm very, very curious. Finally, we're gonna talk about Dave Meltzer and Brian Alvarez talking about Sami Zayn and how he has to win at Elimination Chamber. Dave Meltzer and Brian Alvarez discussed what WWE should do at Elimination Chamber this Saturday between Roman Reigns and Sami Zayn. Alvarez brings up that based on the well-received promo on Monday night between Rose and Zayn, the question now is what they do this Saturday in Montreal at the Elimination Chamber. Meltzer suggests that they shouldn't have Zayn lose based on recent television ratings, which have been high in segments featuring Zayn. Meltzer also said that Zayn shouldn't lose in his hometown of Montreal, comparing the situation back to when Bayley was a babyface and WWE had her lose in her hometown of San Jose. Towards the end of their recap of Monday's Raw, the subject of Zayn was brought up again, with both agreeing that with the string of hot ratings on SmackDown and given the recent crowd attendances and merchandise sales, they now have two hot babyfaces in Rose and Zayn, and the time isn't right to beat Zayn. Alvarez said that WWE needs to make the fans want to see Kevin Owens and Zayn beat the Usos. This is a very bold claim by the both of them. I'm not even going to lie to you right now. I wasn't even remotely thinking about Zayn winning at Elimination Chamber. That's why I was initially hoping that it wasn't going to be for the titles. But apparently it is. And, bro, Sami can't win. He can't. Because it's, first of all, we're not even going to talk about the fact that it's just like too easy because it's in his hometown and everybody wants him to win and all that. It's not going to, okay. It's just going to be like a weird, just like, because then what happens? Because then I guess it's going to be Rhodes and Zayn at WrestleMania. And that's what Rhodes said in the promo. He's like, I want to see you at WrestleMania. And I feel like that would be a good match, yes. But I feel like it would be a weird, like, cutoff point. Because at that point, that's pretty much it for Roman. And then it's just Rhodes and Zayn. And I feel like it's just that to stop the whole storyline right there between Jay and Roman and Sami and Jay, like it just to stop that like whole thing immediately just for like, you know, that main event, not to take away from the, you know, the importance of the match itself, but like overall, just that, to completely throw that aside, it's weird. It's just like, it isn't right for the storyline, you know what I mean? It's a weird ending to that. And I feel like when it comes down to if Sami Zayn should win or not, I don't think he should. I think that that's why I didn't want it to be for the titles. I think it should just be, like I said, because I said this before, I want it to be Roman just smacking him around and being like, you know what, you're not worth my time, and, you know, just like, you know, Hulk, Loki, just beep beep bop and pop, get him out of here, 1 2 3, that's the end of it. And then they're about to like Pillmanize his head with the chair, and then Owens comes out, you know, like, and like he comes out, he comes through the crowd, and he's got like a kendo stick, and he like fights them off and everything, or so, I don't know, just like, and that way you can build towards that. That's I feel like an easier way to build towards, you know, the WrestleMania match for the titles, at least. I honestly don't think they're going with the Sami Zayn win, to be totally honest with you. I think that Roman is just going to beat him down. That's going to be the end of it. And Kevin Owens is potentially going to make a save, or maybe Jay and Jimmy are going to, I don't know. We're going to have to wait and see what happens. What did we talk about? I'm excited to see if Otis actually joins Maximum Male Models. I don't know when it'll actually happen. I say this all the time, but like, they're obviously building to it, and I'm just excited. I can't wait to see. Okay, so obviously he's either going to join or he's not going to join, and either Chad's going to stop him, and if Chad does try to stop him, that's potentially going to lead to a feud, and maybe they're going to do the feud, and then Otis is going to join Maximum Male Models, or maybe he's just going to straight up join. We're just going to have to wait and see. I don't necessarily know, but man, I just, the thought of it is just, I don't know, it's just, I like the nice change, you know, for Otis, and I like that they're doing it in a nice, like, babyface way, you know, and it's great. WWE is like, get out of here, MLW. And MLW is like, no, I just saw you whack that guy behind the Rock. You thought I wasn't going to be able to see that. I did. And you think that I'm just not going to notice that you put his outfit on. You think I'm a doofus. Come back here. Where do you think you're going? You know? So, like, just, bro, I don't know where this is going to go. Listen, if you think I don't know anything now, I certainly don't know anything about, you know, all the court goings-ons and what have yous. But so far, it seems like they don't have a whole lot of evidence, and they're trying to appeal that. So either they're getting more evidence, or they're, like, you know, going with, like, maybe more in-depth evidence. I don't know. We'll have to see how that turns out. And Sami Zayn can't win. He can't win an Elimination Chamber. It wouldn't make any sense. Stopping the story right there specifically for Cody and Sami just doesn't make any sense specifically for the whole Bloodline storyline. It would just be weird. It's a bold claim to make from Alvarez and Meltzer. A claim that you don't necessarily have to share. That's just, you know, your prerogative. So I don't think that that's the direction that they're going to go. Even if they do, well, that, to me, that wouldn't really be the best decision. But listen, man, so far they've managed to make Sami Zayn and Cody Rhodes feel like the biggest baby faces in the entire company. So I feel like if they're going to be able to, if anyone can do it, WWE can do it. So we just got to wait and see what they actually do. Folks, that's going to do it. We're going to get on out of here. Hopefully everybody has a wonderful tonight and a wonderful tomorrow. As always, big hugs. Big hugs all around.